Every level of betrayal in the Bible ranked, from the first lie ever told to the worst betrayal in history. Level 1. Satan betrays Eve in the Garden of Eden. God created a perfect world. No death, no pain, no sickness. One rule: don't eat from one tree. One tree out of an entire paradise full of everything you could ever want. Then Satan disguised himself as a serpent and approached Eve. He didn't threaten her. He did something worse. He made her question what she already knew. Did God really say that? He told her, "You won't die. God is keeping the good stuff from you. Eat it and you'll be like him." Eve ate the fruit, gave some to Adam. He ate it, and everything broke. Sin entered the world. Death followed. Pain, suffering. Every terrible thing that's ever happened to a human being started right here with a lie from something pretending to be a friend. The original betrayal. The template for every single one that comes after. Level 2. Cain kills Abel. The first two brothers on earth. Both bring offerings to God. God accepts Abel's offering and rejects Cain's. Instead of fixing his heart, Cain lets jealousy consume him. God pulls him aside and warns him directly. Sin is crouching at your door. It wants to control you. You have to master it. Cain ignores the warning, takes his brother out to a field, the only brother he has, and kills him. When God asks where Abel is, Cain hits him with the coldest line in the entire Bible: "Am I my brother's keeper?" Like it's not his problem. The first murder in human history was brother on brother because one couldn't handle not being the favorite. Level 3. Joseph's brothers sell him. Joseph is 17 years old, his father Jacob's favorite son. His brothers hate him for it. One day, Jacob sends Joseph to check on them in the fields. They see him coming and start plotting. Let's kill him. They grab him, strip his coat off him, throw him into an empty pit. Then they sit down and eat lunch while their little brother is crying for help a few feet away. When a caravan of slave traders passes by, they pull him out and sell him for 20 pieces of silver. Their own brother. Then they take his coat, soak it in goat's blood, bring it to their father, and say, "A wild animal must have gotten him." Jacob collapses, mourns his son for years, thinking he's dead. The brothers watch their father's heart break every single day and say nothing. Joseph ends up a slave in Egypt for 13 years, sold by his own blood for the price of a meal. Level 4. Delilah betrays Samson. Samson was the strongest man who ever lived. Killed a lion with his bare hands, killed 1,000 soldiers with a donkey jawbone, ripped city gates off their posts and carried them up a mountain. Nobody could touch him. So his enemies found the one thing that could: a woman he loved. The Philistine rulers went to Delilah and offered her 1,100 pieces of silver each to find out his secret. She said yes without thinking twice. She asked Samson 3 times where his strength came from. He lied 3 times. And 3 times she called the Philistines into the room while he was sleeping. 3 times she literally tried to get him captured, and he still didn't leave. That's how desperate he was to be loved. Finally, she wore him down with guilt. "How can you say you love me if you don't trust me with your secret?" He told her everything. His hair had never been cut. That night, she put his head in her lap, stroked his hair until he fell asleep, and called a man with a razor. They shaved his 7 braids off, one by one. His strength vanished. The Philistines rushed in, held him down, and gouged his eyes out. The strongest man on earth spent the rest of his life blind and chained, pushing a grinding wheel like an animal, because the woman he loved chose silver over him. Level 5. King Saul tries to kill David. Saul was the king of Israel. David was his best warrior, the kid who killed Goliath with a rock. Saul loved David at first, made him a commander, gave him his daughter's hand in marriage. David played the harp for Saul when evil spirits tormented him. They were close. Then the women of Israel started singing a song. Saul has killed his thousands, but David has killed his tens of thousands. One song and everything changed. The next day, David was playing harp for Saul like he always did, and Saul picked up a spear and threw it at his head twice. Then he spent years hunting David with entire armies, chasing him through wilderness and caves like an animal. David had multiple chances to kill Saul and refused every time because he still respected him as God's chosen king. He stayed loyal to a man who woke up every morning trying to figure out how to end his life. Level 6. Absalom rebels against David, David's own son. Handsome, charming, beloved by the people, but he wanted the throne. throne and didn't want to wait. He spent 4 years secretly turning Israel against his father, standing at the city gates every morning, telling people the king doesn't care about you, but I do. 4 years of smiling in David's face while building a rebellion behind his back. Then he made his move, declared himself king, raised an army, marched on Jerusalem. David, the giant killer, the man after God's own heart, had to flee his own palace barefoot and weeping while his son sat on his throne. David sent his army to fight, but gave one command: don't hurt my boy. Even now, after all of it, Absalom died anyway. His hair got caught in a tree, and a general put 3 spears through him. When David heard the news, he didn't celebrate. He went to a room alone and wept, "My son, Absalom, my son, my son. If only I had died instead of you." A father who would have traded his life for the son who betrayed him. Level 7. Peter denies Jesus 3 times. At the Last Supper, Peter tells Jesus, "Even if everyone else falls away, I never will. I would die for you." Jesus looks at him and says, "Before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times. Peter says, "Absolutely not. Never." Hours later, Jesus is arrested. Peter follows to a courtyard and sits by a fire. A servant girl says, "You were with Jesus." Peter says, "I don't know what you're talking about." Another person says, "You're one of his followers." Peter says, "I am not." A third person says, "I can tell by your accent you were with him." Peter starts cursing and swearing, "I do not know that man." Then the rooster crows. At that exact moment, Jesus turns from across the courtyard and looks directly at Peter. Doesn't say a word, just looks at him. Peter remembers every promise he made. He walks outside and weeps bitterly. The kind of crying that makes your whole body shake. The man who swore he'd die for Jesus denied knowing him 3 times to save himself. Level 8. Judas betrays Jesus with a kiss. The top. Nothing comes close. Judas was one of the 12 disciples. Inner circle for 3 years. He walked with Jesus daily, saw blind men see, saw dead men walk, was trusted to carry the money for the entire ministry. Then he went to the chief priests on his own and asked, "What will you give me if I hand him over?" 30 pieces of silver, the price of a slave. That's what 3 years with the Son of God was worth to him. At the Last Supper, Jesus looks at everyone and says, "One of you will betray me tonight." Judas sits there, knowing. Jesus dips bread and hands it to him. One final act of friendship. Judas takes it and walks out into the darkness. Later, in the Garden of Gethsemane, torches appear through the trees, soldiers with swords and clubs, and out front, leading them all, is Judas. He walks straight up to Jesus and kisses him on the cheek. That was the signal. The most intimate gesture of love turned into a death sentence. Jesus looks at him and says, "Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss?" Judas got his 30 coins, but the guilt ate him alive. He tried to return the money. The priests refused. He threw the coins on the temple floor and went out and hanged himself.